you're seeing creators making more money in more ways than ever. And it's really exciting, especially to be, in the thick of it and on the sidelines.
He's wired in. Sorry? He's wired in.
Is he?
Yes.
How about now? You're still wired in?
Welcome to New Kids on the Block.
Oh, we are wired in. What's going on, everybody? And welcome to episode 1 of New Kids on the Block, presented by In Their 20s. I'm your host, Landon Campbell. You might recognize my voice from my other podcast, In Their 20s, where I interview some of the world's most successful people about what they did in their 20s. For the past 2 years, you've been able to hear from people like Steve Wozniak, Ev Williams, Kat Cole, the mayor of Miami. We've had so many amazing guests join my show to reflect on their 20s. This show is going to be super focused on people who are currently in their 20s. We're going to be interviewing an awesome list of Gen Z founders that are building the future. These are all people who are building products and services that I am extra bullish on and I want to share with you. Episodes go live every single Wednesday morning, so please, if you enjoy the content today, share this with your friends and peers. Now, to introduce guest number 1. We're going to be speaking with my good friend Blake Michael. He's a former Disney Channel star that has amassed over 5 million followers across his socials. He's now the founder and general partner of Creator-Led Ventures, a venture capital firm that's investing in products and services for the creator economy. He's very knowledgeable about this space, so we're going to dive into what he's been up to on New Kids on the Block. Awesome. Blake, thank you so much for joining New Kids on the Block. Super excited to dive into the creator economy and everything that you're building because you stay very busy. I'd love to kind of prep our listeners just to understand better how you got involved in the creator economy, because you've been acting for so long, obviously. When did you start to explore social media, these apps, and then leveraging, your brand for business ventures as well?
Totally. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Landon. It's funny. I've always been a creator at heart, right? Like making films. Yep. And then starting to make content online when I was super young. So I was an early adopter and actually the first person to get partnered on YouTube. Sorry, the youngest person to get partnered on YouTube.
Wow,
so
that's
back
amazing.
in 2009, YouTube launched a partner program, and it basically allowed creators, we didn't call them creators at the time, but YouTubers, the opportunity to monetize off of their videos, which was revolutionary because up until that point, YouTube had just been a really cool spot to sort of share funny videos with your aunt. Mm-hmm. But now for the first time ever, you could actually monetize and share the ad revenue. But the problem was it was an invite only program and it was super, super exclusive. And after getting partnered, I was a kid magician, just FYI, fun little insights.
Do you still have any tricks that you're good at and stuff?
Funny tricks up my sleeve.
Dude, that's dope.
So I realized that so many other creators were also trying to monetize their YouTube channels. We're also trying to get partnered on YouTube. And so I created an entire company around helping and advocating for creators to get monetized on YouTube. And that's sort of been the through line for the rest of my career and sort of encompasses everything that I love about creators. And so I continued to create content and, accumulated a pretty big audience between my channels. I think I have like 5 million followers, which is crazy. Like, yeah. I think this is a massive opportunity for everyone to leverage what they know, share their insights, and pursue their passions and do what they love. There's never been a better time to, get paid doing what you love to do. But that's sort of how I started.
Yeah, I agree. I love that you pointed out that you're, really an OG creator back when we didn't even call creators. I know so much has changed. There's so many new tools, apps. We're going to obviously discuss some of the tools that you use and have built as well. But if you were to pick like the big macro points, how has the creator economy evolved, but specifically the mindset of the creator, the type of, insights and things that you were following back then compared to today? What's the biggest changes?
I think there's been plenty of changes, but the biggest one overall is the acceptance that this new medium of content distribution is the norm. Back in the day, you didn't really take YouTubers seriously. Advertisers sure didn't. And there were the early adopters of advertisers who started to understand. And even to this day, I don't think the market price has quite caught up to the value that it's delivering. When you look at Super Bowl ads or at the price of any broadcast television, TV commercials, let's put the Super Bowl aside. I don't think it really stacks up to the amount of value that content creators can deliver via their mediums like YouTube. So I think there's still a lot more work to be done, but we've seen it all caught up. And in terms of the mindset shift of creators, you're seeing creators making more money in more ways than ever. And it's really exciting, especially to be, in the thick of it and on the sidelines, both creating for creators and building for creators, but also investing with creators. And I'm sure we'll touch on that because this creator ethos has evolved for much more than just sharing funny videos online or doing funny skits. I mean, you look at someone like Joji, who was a YouTuber doing goofy stuff online, and now one of the biggest anti-pop stars in the world, and how he's transitioned and leveraged his audience in a whole new way. I think we'll go from the traditional way of thinking about YouTubers to this new way where advertisers and audiences alike understand that YouTubers and creators have a bigger career path than just those funny skits.
I agree. Your perspective for the creator economy is super interesting because not only are you contributing to the creator economy as a creator, but as you just mentioned, you're building tools and products, and we're going to get to the fund as well for creators. So before we transition to creator-led ventures, from the perspective of a creator yourself and someone who's building products in the creator economy for creators, how can you be a good creator? Like, what are like the top 3 things that you think every creator should be considering? People who have the smaller audiences all the way to millions, 5 million and more followers and a large audience.
Landon, I think Colin and Samir put it best when they were describing a creator's career and comparing it to Walt Disney's, where Walt Disney built out an empire around Disneyland, right? And that was the central hub, the Disney World. And then outside of that, you have the connecting dots to the merch and the theme parks and the entertainment. And all of this distribution lines up and comes back to that central place of the brand, the creator, the core of the business. And so I think if more creators start thinking of themselves as the Disneyland, and what else can they do and what else can they achieve that's going to maximize their longevity? Because let's be honest, YouTubers and creators typically don't have the longest of lifespans. How can we extend that out and make sure that, we're creating generational wealth? And this isn't just a one-time viral video. How do I expand my brand and create something that is going to last a long time, maybe even longer than myself? Bigger creators like Mr. Beast, we're seeing dive into the DTC space. We're seeing them, get into fashion or selling candy bars or what have you. I think the more creators can tap into and leverage their insights as a creator and see if they can try to convert that into, real world, whether it's merch or a company or advising for other companies, there's a lot to do. And I think, creators might be underutilizing themselves in that way. So if you're a creator listening to this, check out all these opportunities that are right in front of you and think bigger. Always think 10 times bigger, whatever you've got planned. What can I do to scale this out to really leverage everything that I know?
I love that mindset. If you are able to build a strong community and audience, that's when you should really start to think, how can I diversify? How can I create different products? We've seen so many people do it so well. This person launching candy, this person launching makeup, etc. You need to really be intentional with how you want to diversify, how you're going to build your audience even more, and really create an even tighter community. So let's talk about some of the infrastructure that you've seen in the creator economy, because it's one thing to have that mindset, but creators also need tools and products that they can use easily to launch their businesses, to scale, etc. And you are investing in these companies at creator-led ventures. So I'd love for us to start with how big this opportunity is. Like, what is the market size that you're looking at the creator economy when you speak with other investors, when you speak with other founders? What are like some numbers that you look at? And then also like sort of the birth of creator-led ventures. Why did you decide to create a VC? And what is like the general thesis of creating, creator-led ventures?
Yeah, totally. In terms of market size, there have been so many people who have attempted to nail this number, and it seems that no one really has. And so you'll see crazy numbers all over the place. From what I understand, there are about 50 million creators out there who are pursuing their passions, doing what they love, and making money online, doing all that. And so when you look at the market size, you realize that there are a lot of people out there who are in need of products built for them, because creators are businesses and they deserve to be treated like them. Thus, they need tools to operate. And so, you have tools out there like Lumanu, a company that I've been chief evangelist of for quite some time. It's evolved a lot, but, companies like Lumanu building for creators are really inspiring. And as we touched on earlier, as a creator who's been in the game since 2009 on YouTube, back when no one took us seriously, back when it was like not even before the shift, it's really inspiring. And I really believe that, a rising tide lifts all boats here, where more and more companies are popping up, solving all sorts of problems. And I love to see it. I love to see it for selfishly, because I need tools like this, and also for the other creators out there. So there's lots of companies out there tackling real problems, and that gets me really excited because there are a lot of creators out there. Yeah, and in terms of creator-led, I realized that creators can offer so much more than just posting brand deals. There's so much that we can tap into there. And being someone who has been passionate about investing since I was like 8 years old, I'd save up my money, and instead of going to Target to buy toys, I would then go over to my E-Trade and, invest in the Target stock. I was a little bit of a, outlier in that way, but I think that there's so many cool companies that creators should be getting on the cap table and getting equity in return for advising and consulting and doing these sessions with founders who are really looking for that. So creator-led came out of this idea that creators can be so much more than what we think are typically creators. And so, our thesis is that because of this validation between founders and creators, founders are looking for creators to be on their cap table, and creators are looking for ways to monetize themselves beyond just a single brand post. That's what birthed creator-led. And so we are a pre-seed and seed fund. We invest in all sectors and categories, including the creator economy, but really anywhere where, customer acquisition seems to be something to tackle, mostly B2C companies for that reason. And it's been a dream. It's been a journey. I mean, we're 4 or 5 months into this, and I've learned so much as an emerging fund manager. And I'm just so excited for the future and all the companies that are hard at work building right now. There's so much innovation, from Web3 to blockchain to creators and finance and everything in between. So creator-led is very much, in the mix there, and we're excited. We have creators backing us, people like Graham Stephan.
That's awesome.
Nas from Nas Daily, huge international creator and a great friend of mine. And also other creators like Sandy Lynn and Taylor Price, who don't have the 50 million followers, but they really do have the know-how and the understanding of how they can help our founders succeed.
This is literally built by creators for creators. So it's so cool that you brought, investors into the fund who get it. I mean, they're in the space, they're living it, and you don't have to have 100 million followers on Twitter or Instagram to be a successful creator. We've seen that a lot of these, niche audiences have been able to really drive market value. When it comes down to it, people trust people. So I think that I've seen a lot of examples where people have, a few thousand followers, but they have such a strong community that really that could be a perfect person to partner with as well. So you brought up Lumanu and a lot of these other companies within your portfolio and other companies that you're excited about. I'd love to hear some of those. And again, these don't have to be companies in your portfolio, just companies that maybe you wish were in the portfolio that are killing it in the creator economy. And the kind of follow-up question to that, and I hope we can see a trend with some of the companies you bring forward. What does it take to build a successful creator economy product, tool, or service? Because now having 50 million creators and growing, we're going to see more and more tools, and a lot of them are going to be amazing. A lot of them are not going to serve, a strong purpose and function, and people just aren't going to use them. This happens in every industry. So let's hear about some of your favorite companies, and also for the founders listening that are building products and want to build products in the creator economy, what do they need to be successful?
Yeah, no, man, you hit the nail on the head, because there's so many problems we can tackle and ways that creators can help out. In terms of companies that I'm really excited about, obviously there's Lumanu. Lumanu is the powering the financial infrastructure for the creator economy. We're
Mhm.
solving payments, invoices. We get creators and brands paid upfront for their work, so they don't have to
Wow,
wait long net terms, 30, 60, 90 days. When a creator is invoicing for a Harley Davidson shoot or Aloe Yoga and they're owed $10,000, why do
that
they have to
sucks.
wait
Yeah,
around
I agree.
months? So we
Hmm.
realized that most creators have dealt with a late or missing payment. And so Lumano has tackled that. We have over 45,000 creators using us. And
Wow,
it's
dude, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it myself. There's a whole team behind Lumanu, including Tony Tran and Akash. He just joined. He was a VP at Postmates. So a lot of great people on the team. Annie Wing, and so there's Lumanu doing really great things in the space. Other companies that I'm generally really excited about. There's Koji, which is a really cool link in bio tool. But what I love about Koji is they've built a similar infrastructure of Shopify, and that you can build inside of the Koji ecosystem. And I just love that from a investing standpoint. And I didn't get to invest in Koji. I wish I would have.
Yeah,
But I love being able to kind of layer on that, and also multiplayer games, right? Network effects is really important when you look at investments from that angle. The last company I'll mention is Notch, and Notch is basically insurance for your digital assets. There are creators
that's
out there
cool.
who make a huge living from doing their work online, and they are prone to hacking and ill-intended people trying to take their accounts from them. And Notch basically helps the creators recover what they would have earned, protecting their digital assets, everything
Mhm.
from Instagram accounts all the way to NFTs and some things happening on the blockchain. So that's one to look out for that I'm really stoked about. And then what was your other question about
So I
creators?
guess as an investor, investing in the creator economy, like what specifically do you look for in companies? And even beyond that, like what can founders building for the creator economy be focused on to build products that look good, are good, and want to be used? Because hearing the traction with Lumano is amazing. And I mean, 45,000 creators, that's really, really remarkable. You guys are finding a lot of success. There are a lot of other companies that want that same success. So what do they need to really build strong products?
They need creators.
Mhm.
Creator economy companies need more creators building with them.
That's a great point.
And
Yeah.
Lumanu brought me on about 2 years ago, and we were seed stage back then. Now we're going into our Series B. And I think having someone like me, having a
Mhm.
creator
Who gets
on
it? Yeah.
board for your company who understands your problems, right? It's so important to understand your customers' needs. And I wish more companies would be doing this. And Lumano's taken it very seriously, where we bring on evangelists of the product to help spread the good word about what we're doing. And yeah, more companies should really take it seriously, and bring on the people who you're solving problems for onto your board, into your workspace, and helping to build those products. So I think that's really important as well. And then again, from an investment standpoint, like multiplayer game, network effect, these are sort of things that really help
Mhm.
with the virality. Building for creators is a little bit tricky, right? Because in order to market to creators, it's like influencing the influencers.
Yep. See right through it. Yeah. Yeah. That's
For
funny. I never heard
sure.
it put like that.
Yeah. So, as long as you're building something that people want to naturally tell their friends about,
Mhm.
I think that's the key indicator of some sort of product market fit. If people are talking about your product to their friends, that's probably the biggest indication that you've got a match.
I love that, man. Very well said. So, final question for today's episode. I want to look into the future. Creator Adventures, Lumanu, everything that you're working on today isn't for yesterday. It's not for the past. It's for the future. If you really think about it, the companies that you're investing in, it's because you're very passionate about the creator economy and that it's going to continue to grow. We're going to see more millions, millions, millions of creators out there. So let's go 5 years, from now into the future. What are your expectations on the creator economy? Why should other people be excited about this space? How big do you think it's going to be? And how influential do you think? I mean, creators already are super influential. I don't think a lot of institutions and a lot of people who have been around for a while understand that just yet. but I think people will continue to understand it. So what do you see in the future for the creator economy?
In the future, I think creators will be running venture capital. Obviously, that's part of the thesis of creator-led, but I truly believe whether it's creator-led and other funds out there, look at Mr. Beast has his own fund, Charlie
Yep.
D'Amelio has her own fund.
Yep.
Creator-led is really the fund for all creators. But what gets me excited is the opportunities that creators have in front of them to help out in a really big way and potentially change the world, impact some really important causes out there. That gets me so stoked.
Yeah.
5 years down the line, I think we will see more and more people, as you mentioned, become creators where they're quitting their 9 to 5s, they're working from home, and they're pursuing what they love. There's never been a better time to create content online. There's never been a better time to create your own businesses. You have more resources than ever to do it, and the barrier to entry is next to nothing. So, if you've got a passion out there, there's no reason why you shouldn't be pursuing it online. Lee Jin made a great piece about how you only need 100 true fans or 1,000 true fans who can actually support your livelihood in a really meaningful way. So down the line, I see trends like tokenization of creators being really exciting, where creators can now allow their fans to buy a piece of them. Music royalties, I think, is a really cool ecosystem industry that can be broken up. And I know a few people. My friend Kyle is working on something really interesting with Royalty Hub. And there's just lots of tech-enabled opportunities that I think we'll see come more to the forefront, especially revolving blockchain and Web3. You have the metaverses out there, like Wilder World, who are doing some really important things to change the ecosystem. I think creators will be involved in all of these things. It's just a matter of time for the technology to sort of adapt correctly to the audience it's looking towards. A lot of people in the Web3 and blockchain space are so deep inside of it. We forget sometimes that there are many people who are just now figuring out how to create their own wallet ID, how to buy Bitcoin, how to store it. What does it mean? There's a lot of education that needs to happen, but personally, it gets me really excited as someone who's been an enthusiast of the blockchain since like 2016. I think we'll see more and more adopters as long as the technology can catch up. So TLDR is tons of opportunities for creators and lots of more innovation to come.
Totally, man. I love your prediction on the intersection of creator economy and venture. As someone who considers himself a creator and very interested in venture capital, I totally see that happening. Blake, I just want to say thank you so much, man. You get the space so well, but there's another layer. You know how to communicate it extra well as well, which is important because there are a lot of people who will be tuning into this episode for sure, who probably just see this as, it's just influencers and it's not that big. Like, it's not that big of a space. But as two people like who really understand it, it's important for people like us to be able to really break down the market dynamics, really break down the numbers, talk about, like, this is where we think it's going and why. This is the data that supports that. So everything that you said was so analytical, man. And like, I love your insights. So just thank you so much.
Dude, thank you for having me, and thank you for hosting something that gives a voice to the younger people who are doing really cool things. Because as someone who's been sort of an outlier, like, people kind of looked at me differently. Like, I was on sets talking to the directors, or I was coming up with some crazy business idea. Like, there are a lot of kids like I was who are out there, and those are the people who get me really excited and excited about the future, man. So, I watch your podcast and I get really inspired by those people doing what they're doing. So thank you for making a really meaningful place to share those ideas.
Dude, you're so dope. That was super kind. Thank you so much. Means a lot.